Hello everyone and welcome to a G5 upgrade video. Now I've already done a lot to this G5 in my unboxing video, so if you haven't seen it, me and James unboxed this G5, set it up in the studio. I think the video is pretty much an hour long, so go and check it out. Very, very good fun. Now, in today's video, I am going to upgrade the RAM. Now this G5 is a really interesting revision of the G5. Now as you guys know, the majority of G5s have 8 RAM slots and they're horizontally placed in 2 groups of 4 on the motherboard towards the bottom left hand side of the case. Now this G5 is a late 2004 G5, so it was released just before the DDR2 models, the PCIe models, you know, the really modern kind of good G5s. The PCIe, DDR2, what else is better about them? Dual core processors, you can get them in quad, you know, stuff like that. Those newer G5s, the ones with the 2 Ethernet ports, more USB ports, all that kind of thing. Anyway, this was released just before them as like a budget G5, I think. You know how they did the MDD 2003? Well, this was like the budget pro desktop at the time, because this is a single 1.8 gigahertz machine. Now, there was a single 1.8 gigahertz machine available at release, I believe. It was a single 1.6, single 1.8, and dual 2 gigahertz at release. But the single 1.8 at release, I believe it had 8 RAM slots. I believe it was a full-size motherboard with 8 RAM slots. This one uses the same heatsink cover as the 2005 G5, so one big one, you know, you could open it up and it looks like a quad. Apart from the fact that the motherboard is physically shorter, the RAM slots are vertically placed and there's only 4 of them. So it's a totally different motherboard. So it's a fascinating G5. I've been playing around with it for quite a bit and it is running really well. Now I use Logic. This is all this machine is going to be used for, is Logic and, you know, a couple of other applications that go along with Logic, you know, every now and again. Like I've got my Blackbird interface control and, you know, some Native Instruments plugins and what else will I be using? Waveburner from time to time and stuff like that. But this is purely Logic. I don't care what this machine does as long as it does Logic. Now, Logic Studio 8, which I'm using, can easily address up to 4 gigabytes of RAM, I believe. So I have gone ahead and purchased 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now this machine currently has 2 gigabytes installed. That's 4 512 megabyte sticks. I'm going to upgrade that to 4 1 gigabyte sticks. So just yanking them out here. This cost me £42 to do. G5 RAM is not cheap. So here's 1 gig. Here's 2 gigs, sorry, 2 1 gig sticks. And here's the other 2. So what we're going to do is shut down the G5, unplug it. I've still only got one arm. Yeah, we're going to upgrade the RAM. So hopefully we'll boot it up and we'll have 4 gigs. And even though Logic is running really, really well, a little bit more speed, I think I'm going to see a difference, especially when using a lot of plugins. So 4 gigs of RAM, let's do it. So here's my G5, everyone. Let's take off the little air baffle. Love those things. And as you should be able to see on the camera, let me just turn the monitor so I can see what's in frame. Right, yeah. Here we have the whole chunk in the front of the case where the rest of the motherboard should be. So that's very interesting. Now I am working on carpet, but I do have a mixer power supply in my rack here, plugged in and powered up, and I'm just going to keep touching it and I will be able to ground myself against that. So we're taking out every single stick of RAM in this machine and replacing it with more RAM. Double the capacity. So these should all be 512. Crucial memory. 1 512. 2 512. 3 512. And 4 512. Now 2 gigs of RAM for a nice old PowerPC Mac like this, you know, single 1.8 gigahertz, is a nice little bundle. So I will be putting that on eBay. Very, very cheap. You guys know me. If I don't need it, I list cheap. It's just something that I do. Anyway, here we have the RAM. So here's one stick, and it is indeed... it doesn't actually say. It's Corsair Value Select RAM though, which is, you know, interesting. Now I could have spent £58 on RAM, and that would have got me brand new matching pairs. But this company did a deal on all odd RAM, different types of RAM. You know, they've got to be matching pairs in pairs, but the two pairs don't match, if you know what I mean. So these are both Corsair Value, the other ones will probably be different. But yeah, it wasn't worth the extra cost, just, you know, it really wasn't worth the extra cost just to get all brand new. I think it was global memory maybe, I'm not too sure, I can't remember, but I'm okay with the mismatched RAM myself, and I don't really care if it's been used. All I care about is if I get 4 gigabytes. So there's 2 gigs in. Let's take a look at what the other RAM is. Yeah, this is a different type of RAM. I'll be able to use these anti-static bags to put the old RAM in. Again, keep touching myself on the mixer power supply. Now this is Corsair Value Select RAM once again, but with a different label. So a slightly different design, looks a bit newer to me. Or maybe older, who knows. But as you guys can probably tell, my one-armed operation is going quite well at the moment. I've done quite a bit of computer upgrading since I've had issues with my arm, so I'm pleased with the way that's going. And yeah, this is indeed another matching pair. So, hang on a sec, this one looks brand new. Nope, it has been opened. Just getting excited there. Come on. There we go. Just getting out the RAM. And this is the last one to put in. This is another 1 gig stick, of course. Bang, bang. Lovely. 4 gigabytes of RAM installed, or I should hope so. So let's replace the air baffle. And for the first time since I've got this machine, let's replace the side panel door, because I've done so much inside it already. I haven't been putting the door back on, so you know, I have indeed changed the optical drive, the hard drive, and now the RAM. So apart from the graphics card, nearly every user replaceable component has been changed. But the cool thing is, I haven't had to spend that much money. Now, the one thing about this G5 is it's had one hell of a knock sometime in its life, and it's really difficult to put the side panel door back on. You can see these custom screws at the bottom here holding the case together. Let's just see if we can get that situated. There we go. And that in there like so. There we go, that's the side panel and locked into place. And the cool thing is, when I put this G5 under my desk, I'll pan the camera down to show you in a minute, all this damage is hidden. But because the bottom foot, the back foot is totally wonky, I need to find something to cram under the back, because the G5 doesn't actually stand up straight, bless it. Stands up totally wonky. But anyway, yeah, that could do with being a bit more in. I'll sort it right now. So there's the G5, and you can actually see how wonky it sits because of that back foot. It's pretty crazy. The back needs to be pushed in a bit more actually. But even so, look at it in comparison to the desk and you'll see how wonky it is. Now, that's straight. That's just a massive, massive difference. The G5 is just sloping right down, and it's really funny. So I need to find something to cram under the back. But first, before we do that, let's power it up, because I really want to see this thing in action. Now we've got a bong, which is a good sign. Let's move the camera up to the display and wait for something to appear. A bong is always a good start after doing a RAM upgrade. Shows that at least one of the sticks in there is right. So there we go, Apple logo, nice one. Another thing I've done, guys, is just turning the monitor so I can see. I have put the old 512GB sticks back in anti-static bags. and they'll be going straight back into the envelope, and I'll be sending them right back out to whoever wants to buy them on eBay. So this is the moment of truth. Very exciting stuff here. It's booted, which is a fantastic sign. I'm not just saying this either, that's a much quicker boot than I've been experiencing. So we're zooming in so we can see about this Mac. 4 gigabytes of DDR SD-RAM. Lovely. Now this is what you call a successful upgrade. So I believe that G5 is now maxed out RAM-wise. You know, it's got 4 slots, so you can put a gig in each. You know, I don't think you can get 2 gig sticks. That's just not happening, I don't think. But yeah, I'm super pleased with that. This thing's got 4 gigs of RAM. If we open Logic, I'll give you guys an idea of what this system is like. Let's get rid of the dock. So Logic pops up. I'm going to see how long it takes to load a project. I think it's loading the project from the internal drive, it should be. And as you can see, for a 10-year-old machine, yeah, it's gone straight back to that project. For a 10-year-old machine, yeah, for a 10-year-old machine, you know, perfect studio Mac. I'm loving it. So, just for the last part of this video, we're going to find something to cram under the back of it so it looks a little bit better. Well, looking around the studio, I've got various things lying around, including this this original, don't mistake it for the Mighty Mouse. Oh, that was a weird noise. This original Apple wireless mouse, which was around the time the Pro Mouse was around. And it's pretty dense, it's pretty heavy. Came with my original G5, so I thought they could, you know, match made in heaven together type thing. And see if I wedge this underneath the damn thing, will it be straight? So, let's give it a go. Hey! Oh. Now, wedging the Apple wireless mouse underneath the G5 is not a good idea. That did not work. Okay, so we've got to look around for something else to wedge underneath the G5 to make it work. We've got various things lying around here. I might even resort to using a crisp packet folded up maybe. Let's just have a little look back here, see what we've got. Third-party GameCube controller, Acorn Electron with its tape deck, a crossover board. What else have we got? Nothing much worth holding. N64 carts. As you guys can probably tell, I'm using this room as a bit of a storage room at the moment. iMac G3, I think that's a little bit too severe to cram under there. I think I'll just fold up a piece of this cardboard and give that a go, a Duracell battery packet. Yeah, let's fold up this Duracell battery packet and give it a go. See guys, look at that, I'm not just a pretty face. Oh god, anyway, before this video gets any weirder, shout out to Duracell of course. Thank you for the eBay seller for listing this RAM fairly cheaply compared to everyone else. And thank you guys for watching, because, well, as you guys can tell, maybe you can't tell, I'm really excited. I've got a G5 Power Mac in my studio working really well. This is something that is awesome, and my phone's going off in the background, so yeah, I'm just going to answer it and tidy the studio and look forward to the next video guys. I really am.